Yo, bro, this guy plugs his writing every week, and it's a problem when I do it.
We made fun of him for plugging it.
It's just the outro, bro.
Ayo, Phin Nation, what's good? Welcome to the #1 show for the Miami Dolphins here at FIU. I'm your boy, Esteban Big Guapo Rodriguez.
I'm Alfredo, the leader of Tunon.
And it's your boy, the Truth Ant.
But to get this started, I wanted to say something. I don't think the Dolphins can beat any team by a large margin. I mean, it doesn't matter whether they're playing the undefeated Eagles or the 1-5-1 Texans. They're always going to keep the game close, all right? Whether they're down tremendously by 600 points, Tua's like, you know what? Let me just ball out and win the game by like 3 points. Or, you know, if we're beating them by like 3 touchdowns, let them catch up as far as they can.
Yeah, man. I've been saying this defense is trying to make Tua look great on purpose, bro. I'm telling you, they're sneaking it up so Tua can show that he's an MVP candidate in the league this year. I don't know how you guys feel about that, but I think he is.
MVP,
I told you last week.
MVP, bro.
I said it last week. I'm glad you finally see the vision. But like you said, it's getting a little bit frustrating how the defense isn't allowing us to have blowout wins. I think our largest win was the first game of the season. And this game shouldn't have been this close, but credit to Justin Fields and the Chicago Bears.
Yeah, you know, Justin Fields is having a field day with us. I mean, the defense, non-existent. Pass rush, non-existent.
To be fair, I think the defense just had 2 bad games in a row. I think they've been pretty solid all season. They've kept teams at bay. Obviously, when Tua came back against the Steelers, that was all defense, honestly, keeping them in that game. In the 3 games Tua was out, it was the defense again keeping them in it. I just think they've had 2 down weeks. But yeah, it's tough. They've played against 2 lackluster teams, and the defense needs to do a better job. But the offense came through in the way we expect them to, aside from the fourth quarter.
I mean, yeah, we were way off with our predictions last week. I mean, we wanted sacks and pressures and all that, and then Fields ends up setting a new record for most rushing touchdowns by a QB in a single game. I'm like, Lee, we got to stop talking, bro. Like, it feels like whatever we say, it's just the opposite's going to happen.
You know, I saw a lot of people saying that Justin Fields is finally turning the corner and being that franchise QB for the Bears. I think he is, but 123 passing yards on 17 completions is not impressive at all. He definitely did his job in the rushing game, but that's because the Dolphins defense just lets any solid rush do whatever they want to them. And that's something we need to watch out for playing against Nick Chubb and the Browns this weekend.
Yeah, I agree that just he has weapons around him, especially now with Claypool. Mooney is also really good receiver, and he's just not getting them the ball. I think he has a lot of strides to take in his passing game, but like you said, breaking a record for rushing yards, it's not easy. You know, Michael Vick was the last one to do it. He really impressed me with the way that he was able to get out of the pocket, make some throws on the run. He had that unfortunate drop by Quantum St. Brown that ended the game essentially. That he put it right in his hands and it just went straight through. So I think he's playing better than I expected. Last week on our show, I said that you were giving him too much credit, but he impressed me. He was impressive.
No, yeah, I've been saying too. Justin Fields is not like something to be played with. He's coming up. Yeah. You know, you're saying he's not doing well on the passing yards. Yeah, okay, statistically speaking, yeah. But then he did have that one really tight space for the touchdown to Mooney, where it was like insane. It made Howard look like a bozo, and I'm like, dang. Like he's out here outdoing my guy right now.
To be fair, Howard just looked like a bozo.
Don't say that about my guy, bro.
He's looked like that quite often this season.
Don't say that about my guy, bro.
But here's where I think the game really got out of hand, though. The fourth quarter was ridiculous, in a bad way for the Dolphins. I thought it happened at the end of the first half, but again in the fourth, the clock management was bad, the play calling was bad. Tua was not good. Obviously, he had the one pass on 4th down that came up short, like Josh Allen in the 3rd game of the season. Man, I was worried we were actually going to lose this game for a second. I think this...
A lot of us were.
Yeah, I think this was McDaniel's worst game as a coach, honestly. He left too many points on the board, in my opinion. The Dolphins, it should not have been this close in the last couple minutes.
I think that's fair to say. There was a few things that just the Dolphins were not doing well. For instance, we talked about earlier this week Tua's passing. He underthrew a few balls that Jalen Waddle was burning everyone in Chicago, and Tua just couldn't get him the ball. Tyreek still did well. I just think Tua didn't play his best game. Even so, he threw for over 300 yards, had 3 touchdowns. He just can be better, and that's a good thing.
Yeah.
You know, you see him struggling in a few throws, but it comes in a win, and you kind of feel that he's going to get to that point where he's going to be making those throws, especially when him, Tyreek, and Waddle play together for another 1-2 years. That this trio is going to be insane.
Yeah, you know, a win's a win, and you know the Dolphins couldn't have been that bad. You know, we have the blocked punt for the touchdown. Jalen Phillips made that happen, and then Andrew Van Ginkel scooped it up.
Yeah.
Scooped and scored. You know, that was crazy. I think it got everyone hyped.
Yeah.
You know, but take that play away, what's the score?
Yeah.
Bears are up. The Bears are up.
That's the thing, though. Fourth quarter again. I mean, Tua, the underthrows on Tua's part. The reason why I was so confused by them was because they weren't necessarily throws that you need to rip and put everything all your arm strength into it. It was just like whether you want to like put some heat on it or whether you want to lob it. Like that pass to Jalen Waddle that drew the pass interference, he lobbed it when he definitely at least has the arm strength to rip that one and throw it into space where Jalen Waddle can catch and run for a touchdown. It happened a few times, and luckily the Dolphins were able to draw pass interferences off those. I don't know if it's on purpose, because it happens so often.
No, those are questionable calls. But they helped us, so like, hey, let's go ref.
But, yeah, it's just, I don't know. Tua those underthrows didn't seem like underthrows that he wasn't able to make. It just seemed like he decided to lob them for some reason. But yeah, now that you mentioned that pass interference, man.
Jeez. If I was a Bear fan, I would have that.
Oh, I would have been livid, man.
I looked at that and I was like, whoa, yeah.
I don't know, man. That's one of those that I would have torn the studio up if I was a Bears fan.
They're questionable for sure.
You know, but you know, sucks to suck it. That's the game.
I'm just saying somebody, Stephen Ross, had a mean parlay on that game. But yeah, questionable fourth quarter. The pass interference obviously was a big talking point. I just want to say, I think the NFL owes us for that interception against the Bengals. I don't know if you guys remember that dropped interception that Teddy threw. Just saying, the league owes us, but whatever. Regardless, we got the Browns this weekend, 6-3, which it's crazy to say in 2022, 6-3 is not good enough to at least be second in the division in the AFC East. I can never remember a time in my life where the division was this competitive and all 3 teams had winning records.
Yeah, no, this division is going to come down to the wire. I really think that 3 teams from this division can make into the playoffs this season, so it's going to be tough. Luckily, we have a win over the Bills. I think that's very important, especially with Josh Allen's lingering elbow issue that right now he's day-to-day. You never want to see anyone get hurt, but obviously division rival, if they're playing with their backup, they're not going to be the same. Josh Allen's one of the best quarterbacks in the league. And then one guy who killed us this year, Breece Hall, already out for the season for the Jets. They're still finding ways to win games, so we got to be
against the Bills.
The Bills,
last week.
Yeah.
Man, I was going for the Bills because like if the Bills had won,
exactly,
Dolphins would have been second place.
Yeah, and who would have thought the Bills have 0 division wins this year? Against in both games they've played.
Yeah.
They don't have a win against either the Jets or the Dolphins, which is insane.
The Jets made second in the division.
Yeah, and the Jets are looking serious, which is insane to me.
That's crazy right now.
Dude, Sauce Gardner, I told you guys. In the episode we did about the Jets, that guy is legit, bro.
And the Dolphins, I mean, the Patriots are just a game out of all this madness, too. We can't even forget about that.
This whole division is just close. I think we're the only division where all the teams have a winning record.
Yeah.
You know?
And obviously, Josh Allen being out is good in terms of the Dolphins trying to get a lead in the division, but you never want to see a player like of his talent, crash out because of injury. And as a Dolphins fan, if we beat the Bills and we get the first seed we get first place in the division, I want it to be with the Bills at full strength. So I hope Josh Allen can make a recovery. And the Jets, man, they've surprised me. I mean, I said they were going to be the doormats of this division, and now look at them.
Now look at second place and looking for serious, So, but we'll see. They're the last game of our regular season. Hopefully both teams are fully healthy, so we can see really who's the better team in this rivalry.
I never would have thought that a Dolphins-Jets game in January would have implications on the playoffs. I mean, it might not still, but who knows?
It likely would.
But anyway, we got to go back to we're playing the Browns, all right? We're getting too ahead of ourselves, right? We're playing the Browns next week. and they're looking a little, concerning. Especially from last week, they're coming a big division win against the Bengals. The defense only let up 13 points. Jacoby Brissett is coming back to play his old team, so there's a little tension right there. Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt were just going off in the backfield, especially Nick Chubb, 101 rushing yards, 2 touchdowns, and we all know how the Dolphins are with the rushing, just letting everyone. Yeah. So
that Bengals win did snap a 4-game losing streak for them. But it wasn't a 4-game losing streak where they were getting blown out every game. I mean, 3 of those games were decided by less than 3 points. Mm-hmm. So they're not as bad as their record says. Obviously, we know teams that have bad records against the Dolphins is not a guaranteed win anymore after these last couple games. So it's definitely a big concern. Jacoby Brissett, I think Dolphins fans have a little bone to pick with him after his performances when Tua went out last year. But yeah, it's definitely a big concerning game. The Dolphins,
in a row. That's crazy.
The Dolphins are at home, so I am expecting a win here, but it's not going to be easy at all. And the defense needs to step it up against the rush.
I mean, and then it's not only just the rush. Amari Cooper is also a big, playmaker for as a receiver. I mean, he had 131 receiving yards and 1 touchdown last game, and he's only been getting better. Now he's throwing. So they're gonna be using the hickory dickory. There's some trickery plays.
He threw a pick last game, but I think Brissett, he's playing better than he played with us, which is unfortunate to see. But I think he's having a pretty decent season just for being thrown into there, not expecting to start. I think Nick Chubb is concerning. Guy's a beast, has been a beast since he came into the league. I think he might run over our defense just like Breece Hall did earlier this season. So that's going to be a point of emphasis, because I think you allow Brissett to try to beat you through the air rather than Nick Chubb beating you through the ground. It's harder said than done, but Amari Cooper, like you said, could be in line for a big game just the way Xavier Howard's been playing. The secondary is not at their best right now, but I think that's like their main target. So if you focus in on him, focus in on Chubb, take away their 2 best playmakers, you have a chance to really blow this game out of the water.
Yeah, I definitely anticipate Tua being a little sharper, at least in the 4th quarter. I mean, I don't want to say Tua had a bad game, but that 4th quarter and that one throw is definitely a cloud over a pretty solid game overall. I mean, 21 of 30 and over 300 yards for 3 touchdowns, not a bad performance at all. But I need him to be sharper, especially if we want to win this game. And the Browns, they're looking to pick up steam. I mean, they're 3-5, coming off a big win where they convincingly beat the Bengals, and they're getting Deshaun Watson back soon. So they definitely want to put themselves in a position where they can challenge late into the season after he comes back. If he comes back as the Deshaun Watson that we all know, whether he should be in the league or not, I mean, that's questionable. But yeah, they're definitely going to want something out of this game to pick up steam when he comes back. But the Dolphins, I'm going to say it's still going to be a win for them.
Yeah,
I don't know if you guys want to get into a specific scoreline.
One last thing I want to say is Myles Garrett. They need to double team him.
Oh, yeah.
We cannot let Tua get hurt against this guy.
Oh yeah, that would be crazy if Myles Garrett ends up putting Tua back in IR. I'm like, jeez, season's over, bro. That's it.
Yeah, I don't care where he lands up. I'm gonna need that one-on-one matchup with Tua.
It's on site with Myles Garrett, bro.
He's gonna rip off a helmet and smack you. Mason Rudolph.
Okay, so let's get into predictions now, all right? I'm done trying to predict the Dolphins winning by a reasonable margin, all right? This is gonna be a close game, whether, the Dolphins have to catch up or where they let the Browns, catch up as far as they can. So offenses seem pretty solid. I think it's going to be a high-scoring game. Maybe not as high-scoring as last week, so I'm predicting 27-30 Dolphins.
Yeah, for this game, like we said, Dolphins, I think we've overrated them a couple times this season, especially the defense. I mean, the offense has proven they can put up points game after game, but the defense, man, it's been really concerning the last 2 weeks, especially against the rush. Luckily, they have a really immobile quarterback that plays with cinder blocks on his feet, as we know, like he did with the Dolphins. But Nick Chubb is concerning, man. But I'm going to say I expect Tua to be back sharper. So I'm going to say 28-21 Dolphins.
All right.
Yeah, I think, like you said, Nick Chubb is just, no matter how much you game plan for him, there's no stopping him.
Yeah.
That guy is proven to be one of the best running backs in the league. I think he's in for a big game against us. So I'll give him like 2 touchdowns, just himself.
Damn.
Yeah, dude.
Teams that have him on fantasy are going to be eating.
Well, I think the Browns are going to score. I'll give them 24, Dolphins 30. I think that's fair. And it's good that we're at home again, back home after 2 games on the road. So hopefully pull out another win 4 in a row for the first time this season.
Man, they just played 2 straight cold weather games, so they're going to be scorching on that sideline again.
We already know. Well, not even because we're on hurricane watch again.
That's true, I forgot. Yeah. And you know that
can never catch a break then.
That wind after a hurricane is crisp, man. That's not good for the Dolphins, but whatever.
Well, one thing I will say though is the Browns are coming off a bye week, so that could be something. They could be well rested. Dolphins coming off of a scrappy win, so got to make sure that on our P's and Q's.
Well, we have our predictions in, so that's it for this week. Thank you guys so much for watching Phin Tank. This has been the 7 Big Whopper Rodriguez.
I'm Alfredo, the leader of Tune On, and if you guys are into soccer and specifically the World Cup, I'm going to be hosting a podcast called Switch the Field with my good friends Giancarlo and Sebastian. So check that out if you guys are interested.
And it's your boy Ant. Shout out to my articles and Moises and Kenneth for always helping us out in the show.
Thank you guys for watching.
We'll see you next week.
Shout out to my article.